lift our hands and praise Christ as our King. May always say, and in all we do, within our hearts, we give the glory to you. And forever I'll sing about the love of my King, who reigns down from heaven above. We'll fall at his throne, he will call us his own. We will rise in his arms of grace, and we will rise in his arms of grace. We will rise in his arms of grace.
Nice song.
Okay, so one of the first times I played it was actually at CSMI in Wisconsin. I've been a worship leader for a long time. Pretty much, well, ever since, I got forced into it. And 5 years ago, right? But my current home church, and I can't even say that because I serve in 3 churches on a weekly basis when I'm home. It's a very rural area. No one plays any instruments, so I'm a hot commodity, I guess, back home. When I'm gone, like tomorrow, I pre-record stuff and they push play and sing along to me. So I wish I was a fly on the wall because my pastor absolutely hates it. But anyway, but every single week we do hymns and contemporary in church, and it's an old school church. But there are still those who argue on both sides of the issue. My old church actually was tired of the argument, so they created 2 services, and one is modern and one's hymns. And it's so sad because the people that go to either or, they don't know each other. Because one's out and it's like, it's so sad to see. But I had an uncle at my home church right now that was attending, and he was very much adamant that I did not play anything modern, unlike pre or after 1980 or whatever. I don't know what his criteria was, but he just wanted the old hymns, and he would sternly talk to me many weeks on end, and I was not really giving in. So one week he came up behind me after service and he grabbed me by the back of the neck and really gripped hard in the back of my shoulders and said, "You listen here, you are my blood and I'm your elder, and you are going to listen to me and respect my authority, and you will stop playing this modern stuff in church." And I had had enough, and I handed him a Bible and I said, "Show me in the Bible where your preference is the only way, and also show me where any of these songs that I'm doing are not God honoring, and if you can do that, I will gladly remove them." That did not make him very happy. But 2 weeks later, he never came back. And it's sad because it is family, but he was there for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
And he was worshiping for the wrong reason. To me, worship is more than just the songs you sing Sunday morning. It's a lifestyle from the rest of the week.
Right.
And so I had no idea how I was going to write a song, but I had some downtime in Cleveland, Ohio one day, and I was at a rest area, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to write this song. So at a truck stop, I literally had a guitar out, and this is what came about. And I played it a couple times, and it was just kind of just to test the waters, and everyone's like, "Can we get that song?" I'm like, "I just wrote the thing last week." "No, you can't. You can't buy it." So, but everything here on earth is just preparation. And so the song is called Dress Rehearsal.
Cool.
Because, people that sit here Sunday morning and cross their arms, what do they think they're going to do when they get to heaven?
Yeah.
They're going to be singing at the top of their lungs the rest of their life. And I know if from on stage, me singing and playing a guitar, I can be thinking about what's for lunch, you know, what's the score of the Packer game? I can do that from stage. I know people out there are doing the same thing. So it's just, I'm eventually hopefully going to have an album that's just full of these songs that challenges the church and gets people to really think about it. So there we go. Oh, I'm sorry, we're skipping this song.
Okay.
So go to the next one. You don't like the way I worship. My hands raise the guitar up way too loud. You say that drums are from the devil. Heard that argument. And only hymns will be allowed. How about when you get to heaven? When you hear the holy roar, you just stand and cross your arms. Or will you spread your wings and soar? This is just a dress rehearsal, singing hallelujah at the top of my lungs, joining with all the angels who ever praise the Father and His kingdom come. Hear the trumpets and the cymbals, shouting glory to the risen Son. Let the whole earth sing praises to our King. Join with me now. There's nothing wrong with how great thou art. Victory in Jesus is one of my favorites. But have you ever sung Amazing Grace while thinking what the score is of the game? This is just a dress rehearsal, singing hallelujah at the top of my lungs, joining with all the angels whoever praise the Father and His kingdom come. Hear the trumpets and those cymbals, shouting glory to the risen Son. Let the whole earth sing praises to our King. Join with me now. Show me in the Bible where your preference is the only way. Check your heart at the door. Worship is how you live from Monday to Saturday. This is just a dress rehearsal, singing hallelujah at the top of my lungs, joining with all the angels whoever praise the Father and His kingdom come. Hear the trumpets and the cymbals, shouting glory to the risen Son. Let the whole earth sing praises to our King. Don't roll your eyes at me, even the devil believes. Let the whole earth sing praises to our King. Join with me now. Join with me now. Let the whole earth sing praises to our King. Join with me now. Oh yeah, I just went there.
Right
Do
there.
I have time for one more?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I had a guy last night, and the first half of my set, he's just sitting there, and couldn't get him to stand up, couldn't get him to sing, couldn't get him to clap, and everyone else around him, is loving these. And then I played this song, and all I'm thinking, man, I'm wondering how this is going to go. We had a good discussion afterwards, and he came up to me. He's like, I was listening. I mean, he knew I was speaking to him. But he ended up buying a hat for me, so I mean, it worked out, and I hope all is well. But yeah, he was definitely on the hymn side of things, and hymns are the only way. And I don't know why he came last night, whether he thought I was a gospel person or something, but no, it was great. All right, I'm gonna sing you guys one more song, and actually that last song, I can't wait until my dad hears it. Bring it on. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Not many people put the word devil and Satan in worship songs, but
We do.
I did it twice.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, get under my feet, right?
That's right. That's right.
Ashes under our
Hey,
That's right.
I got a lot of people like, where do you get your inspiration? I don't know, the Bible. It just happens. Being in church my whole life and seeing good, the bad, the ugly, and everything else, and not being afraid to say it. But this last song I'm going to sing for you guys. Have any of you guys been to Branson, Missouri in the last 3 years?
No,
So, no?
3 years ago.
3 years ago? Was that huge cross there?
Was that
Just
the-
north of Branson is the largest cross in North America.
Wow.
It is 18 stories tall.
Wow.
Now, it sits on a hill above the interstate, and from the interstate to the top of the cross, it's 500 and, I don't know, some feet. It's 3 times taller than any building in the county. They had to rewrite county codes to get it approved.
Wow.
And back in 2019, for Easter weekend, they were doing tent revival meetings at the foot of the cross. And I was invited to come down and be the worship leader that weekend. And I was there on setup day. And I was just absolutely amazed of, there were preachers and ministry leaders all across this country that I knew from like radio and stuff. And I'm like, how in the world did I get plugged into this mess? And it really just humbled me a little bit, because I'm like, I'm a messed up human being. What do I really have that I can offer God? And I kept singing this over and over and over again. What can I say? What can I do? What can I bring to offer you? But all I have, I give to you. We don't have anything else. He doesn't want half of our heart. He wants all of us.
Yeah.
Our time, our thoughts.
Yes.
And there was a young gal at that event. She was 15, I believe, at the time. Throughout the course of the days down there, everyone kept telling me, you need to minister to that gal. You need to be a mentor to her. I do a lot with teens anyway, but she was also playing guitar and singing and doing stuff in the area. And people tell me, she's like, she doesn't have anybody, And so the end of the weekend, we became fairly good friends. We're actually doing a show together in a couple weeks.
Oh, cool.
And I challenged her. I'm like, write me a song. And she probably gave me every single excuse that I gave my youth pastor. I can't. I said, yeah, write me a song. I'm like, I'm coming back to Missouri in 2 weeks. And I will also write you a song. And then when I come down, we will exchange songs, and I will critique both of them, and I will break it all apart like they would do in Nashville and tell you the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you everything you do is wonderful like your mom does, because that's what moms do. And so two days before I was supposed to go back to meet up with her, I had not written a song yet. And I didn't know I was that much of a procrastinator, but I'm like, there is so much music in the back of my head that I could just pull out and say it was brand new, but that would be cheating. So, but that line came back to me from the cross, and I'm like, I'm going to write that song. And I wrote it out, and I absolutely hated it. I thought it deserved so much better. But the more I tried to change it, the more I couldn't. And so I went down there, and while I was critiquing my own song, my plan was to take it back home, rewrite it the way I wanted it. And when I was critiquing my own song, I'm like, this song doesn't need to get rewritten. It's amazing the way it is, and now it's one of my favorites. Yeah, just the whole concept, everyone at some point in time that confesses to be a Christian has to fall flat on their face. Not physically, but spiritually. But it's how you get yourself back up.
Yeah.
Lace up your bootstraps and hit this thing head on and say, I'm going to do this thing. So, thank you guys so much for listening. And yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to encourage everybody. It's so true. When the Holy Spirit inspires a song, it's not going to always be verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. It's not. And there's been times when I'd say to Gino, where's the bridge? And he's like, that's the way I got it. And you look at El Shaddai, one of the great songs in I think it was the 80s, the #1 song. It was the same 4 chords, and it was the same progression in the verse as the chorus, but it was a song that just ministered in its simplicity. And you have to remember, the Holy Spirit is the one who inspires.
That's right.
And who are be the formula.
Oh,
It
no.
doesn't have to be.
Especially today. Man.
Yeah,
I think that
exactly.
song's older than me. But,
Yes, it is.
It is.
no, and to go along with that, styles too. There's a very hard Christian rock group from around Springfield, Missouri, and we've done a lot of stuff over the years together. And the lead singer and the guy that started the group, he actually was involved in the KKK for a while.
Wow.
He is very hardcore. Well, Jesus got a hold of him, and he did a complete 180.
Wow.
And tell you what, he is. If there's someone that I want beside me on the street, it's going to be him, because he's going to have a Bible in his hand. But we did. There was a festival that we were both playing at, and I was also vending at that festival. So I had a tent with merchandise, and they were on a stage, and there were two ladies in my booth that were just chewing him out without. I mean, just like, how in the world can anyone listen to that? And I had had enough. I probably lost a sale in that. But all right. So I broke down and I had to approach him. I'm like, you have no idea. You don't even know this guy. And and he's the one giving out free Bibles at his shows. And there's people that he can reach that I could never reach because of their style of music.
Right.
And I'm like, he does more for the ministry of God than you two probably ever thought about doing, because all you're doing is gossiping about someone that you don't even know. And yeah, it's so true. And yeah, music is, you can do anything nowadays. I've got an Easter song, and it's just verse, 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 verse.